Yeah, so in the last half an hour or so, we've seen that Debby has strengthened, now packing winds up to 60 miles per hour. The biggest problem with Debby, just how slow moving the system is, dumping historic rain. We're also worried about wind, storm surge, maybe a couple of isolated tornadoes. The path looks like this, traveling up to the north, pushing farther inland over South Carolina sometime tonight through tomorrow morning. To talk much more about this, we want to bring in reporter Chelsea Torres live in Charleston, South Carolina. And Chelsea, what are you seeing out there this morning?
Sure, Abby, good morning. You know, what a difference 24 hours makes. Yesterday, we were really seeing that torrential downpour and even those strong, heavy winds. This morning, it started out very light. It picked up a little bit maybe a couple hours ago, and right now, it's just a lighter rain, and there's no strong winds at all. The roads are wet, but they're not flooded, and so they're open right now. The mayor did set in a curfew on Monday evening to keep people home and off the roads, but a few hours ago, the mayor did lift that curfew. Now roads that were inundated with Debby's rain are open. Dozens of businesses locked their doors ahead of the storm, and as people wait for Debby to creep past the Carolinas, visitors and locals really didn't have much to do, but they did try to make the most of the historic city.
It doesn't have any restaurant or any business. Because we want to eat, to drink, and we cannot. It's calm, really calm.
So we're not out of the bag yet. As we know, there's still going to be more rain ahead of us. But what really helped alleviate some of this exhausting flooding was the city's pre-planning to drain through their pumps. And we do know that the mayor did say that he would add additional pumps if they did need it here in the next coming days. In Charlotte, South Carolina, Chelsea Torres. Abby, back to you.
Yeah, Chelsea, it's wild to think that by the time everything is said and done, we're talking about 25 inches of rain for South Carolina, 15 inches in North Carolina. Can you put into perspective, Debby, just how powerful is the system compared to others the region has seen in recorded history?
Sure. Charleston, just to kind of give you an overview of why Charleston has always been kind of up there when we talk about flooding. Charleston is a peninsula, and it's surrounded by a couple of rivers, including the Ashley River that's actually behind me. A lot of those creeks go into the peninsula, and there's really just lower floodplains throughout Charleston, and then just development over the years because it is a pretty growing city. It's actually the largest city here in South Carolina, but there's been floods. There was a record flood back in 1908. But one of the most historic flooding here that has happened was Hurricane Joaquin, which was back in October of 2015. It did bring nearly 25 inches of rain at that time, and it also caused about 500 roads to be completely damaged. There was a lot of property damage. In total, there's nearly $12 billion of an estimated cost in damages throughout the area. So again, every time, I think what's really interesting too is that NOAA has done a city. They showed nearly 10 years ago, on average, Charleston has about 25 days of flooding a year. They're expecting in 2051 to have nearly 60 days a year of flooding. Abby?
Chelsea, thanks so much for that perspective. I'll send it back to you at the anchor desk.